a bunch of different directions. For sure, the professional side like this, the PKRA, is at a really high level now. You know, if you look at the top guys in the world, you know, Aaron Hadlow, Kevin Longaray, these guys, they're really taking the sport to a whole new level. Super consistent, really technical, and it's great to see, and they're bringing everybody else along with them. You know, so the level of the sport has come to a whole new, you know, degree of difficulty and technical ability. But the wave riding side is really taking off worldwide as well. So there's a lot of guys that are dedicated wave kiters now, and the new equipment is allowing us to do pretty cool stuff in the surf. And then, of course, the biggest area of the sport is still freeride. You know, people just going out and cruising and, you know, not doing anything too extreme, but still having a lot of fun with the sport. On the PKRA Tour, I think the average age here is like 19, you know, which is really, or lower even. It's really healthy for the sport. Super good. That was 1998, basically, end of 97. And so we were, you know, I was one of the first guys in Hawaii doing it, trying to experiment with the equipment, trying to make it work. So for me, it was a new challenge. It was at the time when I was kind of fading out of windsurfing competition in the World Cup. From the very beginning, we had kite competitions. You know, even though there were only like 20 or 30 professional kiters in the world, we already had a tour and events. And so for me, it was a way of re-challenging myself, re-engaging myself in the development of new equipment, you know, because the sport was advancing so fast. We were having a lot of fun, you know, making new kites and making new boards and trying to take the sport forward. It was a really good complement to windsurfing, you know, because you could kite in conditions where windsurfing was, for me, a little bit boring, lighter winds and flat water. You could go out on a kite and boost huge airs and be doing loops, and so it was more time on the water. To me, it wasn't really a fight with windsurfing. Yeah. Kind of like what stand-up paddle is for me now. When there's no wind, I'm out doing stand-up. So it's not taking anything from kiting or windsurfing. It's just putting me on the water even more. Most of it now, because I'm not competing, is just pure fun. You know, promoting the sports and going to new places and, you know, going to sick photo shoots. You know, where when you're competing, you got to stay pretty focused if you want to win. I was very, very focused. And now I can really just play. You know, it's classic. I've never even tried a handle pass. Never even tried one. Sooner or later, I got to try that stuff. I don't even know the name now of a lot of the good tricks. And I think it was good for me to let that go. When I'm kiting, I'm still polishing my old tricks. You know, I still like to boost huge airs and do grabs. And you don't have to be cutting edge to have fun. And, you know I can't pretend to be competitive with guys like you on a twin tip, so I don't even try. I mean, in the beginning, the sport was like total experimentation, huh? 2-line kites, no D-power. You'd launch the kite, and wherever the kite was going, you were going with it, you know? As the equipment's developed and gotten better technically, the sport's been, you know, much more accessible to more people. It's still dangerous. You can still really mess yourself up if you want. You know, at the end of the day, even with safety systems and D-power, you still need to be smart. And not everybody's that smart all the time, so there's still accidents, but nothing like in the early days where you'd see people just flying down the beach every day, crashing into tents and buildings, and it was just like the Wild West of kiteboarding in the early days. You remember it if you were doing it at the same time. I can't imagine being 12 years old on a 2-line kite going whoosh. The only thing that's guaranteed, especially with a sport where there's so many young people doing it, is that it's going to continue to evolve. You know, guys are always pushing the limits. We're constantly developing the equipment, and the young guys are constantly developing what's possible on the water. So the only thing that's guaranteed is that it's going to change. Exactly where it's going to change and how it's going to change, I have no idea.